So it looks like we've had a lot of announcements coming out of San Diego Comic-Con regarding the MCU. So here's the current lineup for Phase 4 of the MCU. So far we have a untitled movie as well as the Eternals, Shang-Chi, the Doctor Strange sequel, and so far no Captain Marvel. Hey, it's a good possibility that maybe the MCU is not getting woke after all. We're also going to be getting a Marvel What If as well as Thor Love and Thunder. My God. Are they doing what I think they're doing? Please tell me that's not the case. Yep. They went there. Well, it looks like Jason Aaron is getting the last laugh after all. Excuse me, folks. I need to go take care of something real fast. Fuck me! Welcome back, Pixel Nation. Comics Division here. How the hell are you? And today I'm going off script because if I go and write something, it probably won't come out for another 2 weeks. So before we go any further, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and bash that bell for notifications. YouTube has not been monetizing my videos, so if you want to help support the channel, you can head over to Subscribestar or Ko-Fi. Or you can go and share my videos, that really helps grow the channel. Back in April of this year, I released a video called The MCU is Going to Get Woke, which is my prediction for the MCU in a post-Endgame world, specifically going and adapting the all-new, all-different era of the Marvel Comics. And then last night I started getting a spike in traffic for this video, which I thought was a bit odd. And then I heard about the Jane Foster Thor announcement, and that suddenly makes sense now. I'm not always right on my MCU predictions, but when I am, it's typically things I wish I was wrong on. So just a quick bit of history for those of you who are not comic book fans. Jason Aaron took over as writer of Thor God of Thunder back in 2013, which lasted through 2014. This run is actually pretty solid in my opinion, and I do think if you're interested, go check it out. It's actually pretty decent. It's also during this run where we find out that Jane Foster is diagnosed with breast cancer. And then, because reasons, she refuses any kind of magical cure that can help treat her cancer, which is really fucking stupid in my opinion. But whatever. It's during the original Sin event where Thor becomes unworthy. And this happens at the very end of the event when Nick Fury whispers into Thor's ear something that shatters his confidence and he's unable to lift the hammer. It's not until the Unworthy Thor miniseries that we find out that Nick Fury whispered that all the gods are not worthy into Thor's ear, and that was the reason why he was not able to lift the hammer anymore, which is completely fucking stupid. And this brings us to the new series called Thor. And the reason why they called it Thor is that they were trying to stress the point that this isn't Femme Thor or She-Thor or Lady Jane Thor. The point that they were trying to reinforce was, like it or not, fanboys, this is Thor. Which it's not, because Thor is the dude's name, which is the reason why so many people had problems with this. And this is where we get the all too familiar reaction from the show media. If you don't like it, doesn't matter what your reasoning is, you're a misogynist. On top of that, Jason Aaron had such an issue with fans pointing out that Thor is his name that he actually wrote it into an Avengers comic book. And the dude that's being wailed on by She-Hulk, it's a literal troll. Because no, that's not petty at all. Now, one of the more interesting aspects of the character is that because she has breast cancer, she was going through chemotherapy. The issue is that anytime Thor would transform back into Jane, the drugs would be purged from her system and she would continue to slowly die. And all this concludes in issue 705 of The Mighty Thor, where Jane Foster dies and destroys Mjolnir at the same time. And for some reason, Odin brings her back to life, curing her of cancer, so now she's back to normal. So remember that whole thing with not wanting to be treated with magic? That just got thrown out the window. At this point, Thor becomes Thor again, but he's basically the god of useless hammers. So where does this leave us with the MCU, and how is Jane Foster going to become Thor? And that's the question. I'm not sure how they're going to go and work in the whole cancer element. That seems like something that is probably going to get dropped, even though it's pretty pivotal to her character in the comic book. Now, if they don't address this, it's going to feel pretty shoehorned in, just like some other MCU character. Now, this movie isn't coming out till 2021, so it seems like they have some lead time to try and integrate her character in, so we shall see. Now, we need to address the elephant in the room. Nobody asked for this character. She wasn't popular in the comics, and the shill media will tell you the complete opposite. The only reason why Marvel did it to begin with is because they're banking off the popularity of the name. For the most part, fans know that they're always going to bring back the original character, and at least in the comic books. Now, for the MCU, this may be a completely different situation. Now, Disney wants to continue milking that MCU cash cow, and eventually actors age out and contracts end, so they have to bring in new characters. So I'm pretty sure this means that we're going to be seeing Squirrel Girl, America Chavez, and Kamala Khan as Ms. Marvel. We know that Kevin Feige is saying that there's going to be a huge push for diversity in the MCU going forward, and this is going to be the beginning. Right now, we're going to be seeing all the puff pieces coming about how awesome this is and how popular the character is, but at some point they're going to meet fan resistance. And just like with Captain Marvel, any pushback from fans is going to be met with hit pieces coming from the shill media. So far, what we know is that the title of this movie is going to be called Thor: Love and Thunder. Natalie Portman will be back reprising her role as Jane Foster, which is interesting considering she said she was done with the MCU, so they must have lured her back with a boatload of cash. Mjolnir was destroyed in Thor Ragnarok, which means that either she'll be getting a new hammer or it's going to be reforged. And again, this is what makes things kind of strange. How does she become Thor when Mjolnir is not around and Mjolnir is the one who put out the call? Tessa Thompson will be back as Valkyrie, and this time we know that she'll be openly gay, and the entertainment bloggers are already trying to ship her with Jane Foster. And Waititi will be back to direct. And that's pretty much all we know so far. And this is where I turn things over to you. What are your thoughts on all of this? Honestly, I'm not that excited for Phase 4 of the MCU. There's really not a whole lot I want to see other than a few movies. And I'm definitely not going to be subscribing to D+, unless I'm really desperate for content. After all, I do have a YouTube channel. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll catch you next time, folks. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you didn't, well, thanks for watching anyway. If you want to see more of my crappy content and shitty opinions, make sure to subscribe. Bash that bell for notifications. I've heard it occasionally works. And I want to give a huge shout out to those of you who support me on Subscribestar. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome.